Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking into a newer player in the fintech world, Earnin. It's an app trying to tackle that tightrope walk we all sometimes face, right? Bridging the gap between needing cash now and your next paycheck. It's such a common pressure point. You get an unexpected bill and payday just feels, I don't know, a bit too far off. So what if you could actually tap into the money you've already earned before payday, and maybe without those crazy high interest rates? We're digging into an analysis from Bytes Media to really understand Earnin, the good, the bad, the tricky bits. Our mission here is simple: give you a clear, informed view so you can decide if it's, right for you. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating, I think, is how tools like Earnin are trying to solve this age-old problem, right? Immediate cash flow needs. People have always faced these gaps, often turning to, let's be honest, pretty costly options. Earnin signals a potential shift. It's trying to disrupt things by offering access to money you've already earned. But its approach to making money itself is, well, it's different. It's kind of a compelling experiment in personal finance today.
It really is a different model. So let's get right into it. How does Earnin actually work? The basic idea sounds incredibly appealing, especially if you're in a pinch. You get access to part of your paycheck before the official payday. And the big claim, the one highlighted in that Bytes Media analysis, is it does this without charging any interest or mandatory fees, which sounds almost too good to be true, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And it immediately makes you ask, okay, how do they stay in business then if there are no required fees? Bytes Media dug into this, and it seems the app relies heavily on an optional tipping system. Users can choose to leave a tip for the service, but, and this is key, the analysis points out no obligation to tip.
Yeah.
But here's the catch, or the nuance, maybe. While it's technically optional, the review suggested that not tipping could miss out on features like overdraft protection.
Ah, okay. So optional might have some strings attached, practically speaking. That's a really important detail. It sounds less like a pure tip and more like a tiered service level based on voluntary payment.
Precisely. It's a clever way to encourage payment without mandating it. It links that optional tip to real, tangible value. So the user has to weigh the cost benefit. You're not forced to tip, no. But if you want those extra safety features, the implication is, well, tipping helps. It kind of blurs the line between a voluntary thank you and, let's say, a conditional service charge. Definitely something users need to be aware of going in.
That distinction is crucial. Okay, so assuming you understand that tipping part, how easy is it to actually get the money? The Bytes Media review described the setup as pretty simple and straightforward. Download the app, link your bank account. Seems easy enough. Was there any mention in the analysis about security concerns with linking your bank account like that? Or is it standard practice now?
The analysis highlighted the simplicity, yes. It makes sense when people need money fast, you want low friction. It didn't dive super deep into their specific security tech beyond, the usual reassurances. But linking bank accounts generally uses strong encryption these days. The main thing for users to understand is that you are giving the app access to your transaction data. That's how it verifies earnings. So it's less a red flag, more an informed choice about data sharing for convenience.
Right, the trade-off, okay. And how much can you actually borrow? The Bytes Media report mentioned clear limits. It said up to $100 per day or $500 per pay period. So it's definitely aimed at smaller amounts, not huge loans. And here's where it gets really interesting, the speed options. Bytes Media highlighted this choice you have. Speed versus cost.
It's such a classic fintech play.
Right. So if you need the cash, immediately, there's lightning speed. Gets you money within minutes, apparently. But no surprise, that speed comes with a fee of about $3.99 to $5.99. Or, if you can wait a bit, there's standard delivery. That takes 1 to 2 business days, and it's free.
It really shows how urgency gets monetized, doesn't it? That lightning speed fee isn't just for the tech, it's for the peace of mind, the immediate relief. If you're facing a late fee that's way bigger, maybe that $5 fee seems totally worth it. It taps into that need for instant problem solving. But for others, if the pressure isn't quite as high, waiting a day or two for free makes perfect sense. It really lets the user decide based on their situation. How much is that immediacy worth to them right now? It's a practical choice.
Yeah, that choice is key. But let's be real, like the review said, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. No app is perfect. One potential issue flagged in the Bytes Media analysis was customer support. Apparently there's live chat support, but no email or phone support. I can see how that could be if something goes wrong, really frustrating. Sometimes you just need to talk to a person.
You're absolutely right. Live chat is efficient for simple stuff, sure, and cost-effective for them. But for complex issues, account problems, payment errors, things involving sensitive financial info. Trying to sort that out over chat, well, it can be tough. That lack of a direct phone line or even an email trail can definitely add stress when you're already stressed about money. It probably reflects their lean, automated model. But yeah, it's a limitation users should know about.
Definitely something to keep in mind. And thinking bigger picture about financial health, the analysis stressed that while Earnin can be a great short-term solution, it's really important for users to consider building a stronger financial safety net.
Mm.
The goal should be to avoid needing these apps regularly, right? It's a bridge, not a permanent fixture.
Exactly. Think of it like a bandage. It's great for a specific immediate need, stops the bleeding, but it doesn't replace having a proper first aid kit or learning basic safety to avoid getting cut in the first place. True financial health comes from saving, budgeting, having that emergency fund. Relying too much on early wage access, even if it's low cost like Earnin aims to be, could mask underlying budget issues. So yeah, use it strategically if you need it, but work on the foundation. That's the key for the long run.
That's really solid advice. Strategic use, not dependency. Okay, and part of that strategy is knowing if you even can use it. Bytes Media pointed out some specific eligibility requirements. The app only works if you have a consistent pay schedule and direct deposits. That's a big one. It basically means it won't help if your income is not regular or freelance-based.
So what does it tell us about who this app actually serves, despite being sort of new tech? Yeah, that's a really crucial point. It shows that even innovative tools like Earnin are still kind of built on the rails of traditional employment. The whole system relies on verifying consistent direct deposits from a single employer, more or less. That's easy to automate. But the gig economy, freelancers, people juggling multiple income sources, their income doesn't fit that neat pattern. So the tech, it can't easily verify it in the same way. It's a systemic limitation, really. It means a whole chunk of the modern workforce, often the ones facing the most income volatility, can't access this kind of tool. It highlights a gap.
Right, so definitely not a universal fix. Important to know. Okay, but let's pivot to the positives again. Bytes Media did highlight some genuinely neat features beyond just the early pay access. A huge one, maybe the biggest pro, is that Earnin can be a solid option for avoiding high-interest payday loans or credit card debt. I mean, compared to payday loans with triple-digit APRs, this is potentially a much, much better alternative if you're stuck.
Absolutely. That's a major harm reduction aspect.
Yeah. And then there are features baked into the app itself, like Balance Shield. This alerts you when your bank balance dips too low. It's like a little proactive nudge to help you avoid overdraft fees.
That's genuinely useful financial awareness.
Totally. And then there's Tip Yourself, which lets you save small amounts of money from your paycheck into a fund. It's kind of like embedding a micro savings habit right into the app you might be using for cash flow emergencies.
And if you connect those features, Balance Shield and Tip Yourself, to the bigger picture, they do more than just plug immediate holes. Balance Shield promotes that awareness, helps you react before you overdraft, saves money, saves stress. And Tip Yourself, even if it's just a few bucks here and there, encourages saving. It nudges you towards building that very safety net we talked about. So they're not just bells and whistles. They're tools that can actually support better financial habits, even in a small way. It shows a more layered approach.
I like that, a layered approach. Okay, so bringing it all together, what's the final takeaway from the Bytes Media analysis? Who is Earnin actually for? The conclusion seemed to be that Earnin can be a solid option, but with caveats. For some, it's a lifesaver. For others, it might feel a bit limited depending on your financial needs. So clearly not a magic wand, but it definitely has its place for certain people in certain situations.
Exactly. And that just underscores why personal assessment is so important. Yes, it offers real benefits, like being cheaper than payday loans, but it's not one size fits all. Your income stability, your spending habits, your comfort level with the tipping model and data sharing, it all matters. What works for your neighbor might not work for you. And the analysis rightly suggests, consider speaking with an expert before making any decisions. See how it fits, or if it fits, into your broader financial picture. Don't just look at it in isolation.
Sound advice. All right, so that wraps up our deep dive into the Earnin app for today. We've talked about how it lets you access wages early, its unique optional tipping model, which isn't quite the same as free if you want all the features. We looked at the good stuff, avoiding predatory loans, handy tools like Balance Shield and Tip Yourself, and also the limitations, the chat-only support, and the fact that it really only works for people with traditional steady paychecks via direct deposit. So here's a final thought for you to chew on. Given that Earnin relies on optional tipping, but links key features like overdraft protection to whether you tip,
How does that model really shape user behavior? And what does it say about the meaning of free or optional in financial tech? When safety nets kind of depend on a voluntary payment, well, how might that influence the way these services evolve and how transparent they really are? Definitely something to think about regarding the future of these kinds of financial tools. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.